It's safe to say that my internship at Charlotte Dulles International Airport was an absolute game changer. Today, we're going to be talking about all the various aspects of this internship, from the different departments to the different opportunities and everywhere in between. I hope all of you are excited for this today. Let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Alrighty, everybody, the CLT internship is complete, and I'm really excited to bring it to you all today and really talk about what happened during my time at the Charlotte Dulles International Airport. So again, I hope all of you are excited for today's presentation. This was a really cool experience, very fortunate for this, and safe to say that it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So with that being said, I'm just going to bring you all the various elements, talk to you all a little bit about my exact department, and also talk about the other opportunities, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm literally just pulling from the exact presentation that I did there, so you all know this introduction slide, so I don't need to explain this too much. But the big picture here is that my actual department at the Charlotte Dulles International Airport that I interned with this summer was the Terminal Operations Department, which is a really unique sector. Only a few hub airports have such a department, and Charlotte is one of those airports. And as we move throughout today's presentation, I'll explain to you all what the Terminal Operations Department does at the Charlotte Dulles International Airport. So there's a little bit of an introduction there for you all. We're going to start by talking about the terminal operation daily assignments and kind of some of their responsibilities throughout the entire airport. So as it kind of sounds like, the terminal operations department really facilitates the entire terminal building, but there's several sectors and policies and overall practices that really go a long way. So let's start with what they facilitate. First, they work on the pre-secure side, which is the lobby and baggage claim area of the airport. There's quite a few different functions here, including the crowd control. In the bottom right picture there, you can see a very long TSA line at the airport. That's very common. The airport was not made for the amount of traffic that it has regularly through the American Airlines banks. So that's a big piece of the puzzle, is crowd control, and that's probably the biggest function of the job, is just keeping it under control. Also out there's plenty of other discrepancies just from responding to loose unattended personnel, such as backpacks or laptop, or rather I should say baggage equipment, so on and so forth, suitcases to be more particular. So that's a big part of it. And then overall, just kind of like a second look for building maintenance, and the fact of looking for any ceiling tiles that may be loose, or tiles that may be broken, just responsibilities like that, and just going through and doing all the various work orders if needed, and just looking through it all, and also making sure that everybody's in compliance out there, all the airline ticket counters, so on and so forth. So just a big look at that. So that's the pre-secure side of the house. The post-secure side of the airport, that's going to be the sterile area, ranging all the way from the new A concourses, the CAP concourses, CAP 1 and 2, all the way around over to the E gates, all the way to the American Eagle gates. So all those concourses at the airport, CLT's Terminal Operations Department facilitates all of what's going on over there. And same story with crowd control, the building maintenance functions, and so forth. But on top of that, to go along with that, they also look for, and respond to various emergencies and so forth. Whether a restaurant has a fire on the grill, or there's some sort of medical emergency, Terminal Operations is there to help. And those are much more common over there with the amount of volume, traffic, and, just overall attendance over there relative to the pre-secure side, which is the lobby and the baggage claim. There's also a couple particular areas that the terminal operations is very involved in, if not runs. First, the Federal Inspection Services area, the FIS, in the basement of Concourse D, where all the international flights come into. Terminal operations has some agents down there to facilitate the various responsibilities and duties down there to help out Customs and Border Patrol. So that's a big function, along with the Airport Information Desk, the AID. This is next to Checkpoint 1 upstairs. And what they do at the Airport Information Desk is issue various gate passes for a wide variety of tenants that they don't have a badge yet, so they need to go through there. Big customer service function to answer various questions that anybody may have about wayfinding, where to go, and really to provide them resources, bus routes, all hotel shuttles, you name it. There's quite a wide variety of questions. Answer the phone up there with various questions, and overall just quite a wide variety. And then along with the Airport Information Desk, they also have the Lost and Found office, and this is very important. If you lose an item somewhere where the airport doesn't have lease space out to, and kind of a big concept between the airline's lost and found and the airport's lost and found, answering those various questions, along with giving every effort to get items back to people. So you'll see a couple examples of that as we continue through today's presentation. So those are some of the daily assignments. If you have any particular questions, let me know. But terminal really inside, it's not like airfield operations where they have the entire perimeter fence, or landside operations, which is the entire terminal area, the whole entire curb. So it is a very unique department in those ways. Let's talk about the mission of the Terminal Operations Department. So the department is responsible for optimizing terminal and curbside operations, ensuring safe and efficient flow of passengers through the terminal, and ensuring optimal customer experience from the curb to the gate at CLT. So whether that's providing somebody a bus route to go from the airport to downtown, or providing wayfinding on how to go from gate A12 all the way on the other side to, let's just say, D10 to get to this American 777, there's obviously so many various pieces to the puzzle, and that's really the entire mission of the department, is to do that in a safe, efficient, and optimal flow for the passengers, which I think is very important. And during my time at CLT as well, and we'll highlight this more in a moment, you can see I definitely was big on plane spotting and getting to check out all the aircraft. This is a really good view incorporating multiple aspects of CLT, such as Contour, obviously American Airlines, and the Lufthansa A350 as well for good measure. So plenty of action going on here, so absolutely love to see that. I did have some various projects that I tackled during my time with terminal operations. Let's go ahead and talk about some of those. The first one here is the Airport Information Desk Matrix Tracker. They are tracking various information such as real ID statistics, the desk activity before and after 6 p.m., and an overall summary of the data. So you can kind of see here off on that graph, we have a variety of items that they're tracking. So the important aspect to this is to have this in an efficient flow, and I was able to help contribute to make a new spreadsheet for that this summer. So that's exactly what I did there, and you can kind of see what the formatting of that looks like. So that's pretty cool. There's also two other big spreadsheets, work ordered by location. That's really, once again, getting into the building maintenance functions that terminal operations oversees, ensuring that there's no tile issues, so on and so forth. Having a good spreadsheet for them to log all the various discrepancies was very helpful. So made that spreadsheet, and along with that, I also worked on the checkpoint wait time validation spreadsheet. There are 3 major checkpoints at CLT, and seeing if there's any differences between them, any discrepancies, or any other such items was a big part. So getting a good spreadsheet for that was very helpful. So if you can't tell, I did some spreadsheets this summer, and it was definitely fun to do that, along with the practical application experience through the day-to-day operations at CLT. Which is kind of what we're going to talk about now, the reflection of what we saw there. So let's kind of talk about this. Here's kind of the 3 big character traits that I learned during my time at terminal operations, and then from there I'll tell you why these traits matter. So I really learned that preparedness is key, consistency is essential, and patience is vital. And I have various examples here to reflect upon how important that is. So first, long lines for TSA or the American Airlines bag drop, for example. When you have so many people, you really need to be patient, and you also got to be consistent and prepared. So first, if you're not prepared, which is the first big one, and that's really, you could argue this for really anywhere, but I think here especially you have to have it. If you're not prepared for how to handle these situations and how to handle large crowds and what to do in situations where it could be an overwhelming situation, you certainly are not going to be able to be consistent and patient. And then as for the, consistency and the patience, let's talk about these examples. If a customer is using foul language, I won't get into the exact details of what happened, but long story short, there was a situation where there was foul language being used. You have to be prepared to be consistent how you handle this and patient how you handle this. And fortunately, I was able to bring the situation to where the customer was able to tone down the language, so I was able to do what they needed help with, help them with what they needed help for. So that was really important, and you got to be consistent in how you execute that, but definitely patient. And then the preparedness, once again, returning lost heart medication. Long story short, there was a passenger that was flying out, and they had heart medication that they left at a ticket counter. Fortunately, I was able to contact the medical location and ask on the behalf of the airport if they could contact this customer so that they could know where to pick up their lost heart medication. Fortunately, they were able to pick it up. So all of this leads to fulfillment, learning about the operations at a large hub airport. Obviously, you all know me as an aviation enthusiast by heart. I love being with the aircraft. There they are right there. So whether, that's airside or planning and development, for example, another big department at CLT, or, gate management even, for example, another really cool piece of the puzzle. This was the opportunity I had this summer. Terminal operations is very unique in the fact that, once again, every airport has some sort of airside job, most likely, or some sort of security job, or even some sort of planning or engineering job, right? At Charlotte, terminal operations is, one of a kind. Several small hub airports in the US, this is done by the police officers or building maintenance, right? So it is really neat to see, what a unique department it's all about, and this really shows what the operations at a large hub airport look like. So I was super happy with the results of that. So let's go ahead and talk about the next steps in my results from this internship. So first and foremost, I'm super excited to announce, and my next video will be coming out on this very soon, that I will be working at the Tulsa International Airport once again this fall. They were super nice to invite me back this fall. all during my last semester here in college to help with a wide array of projects at the airport. So very glad that the results of the internship there this spring were powerful enough to lead to this opportunity. So I'm very excited about it, and I'll be making a video on that. So stay tuned for all the fun, wide array of subjects to talk about with that. So that's the short-term situation and a goal that I accomplished. And the long-term goals include working in airport and airline operations. You all know that I've now done 2 internships at a small and a large hub airport. So now really reflecting on this experience and seeing if I can land somewhere in the airport and or airline operations landscape is going to be super fun. So I'm really eager to see what that looks like, whether it's an airside operations job or a network planning job or somewhere in between. There are certainly quite a wide array of options, and I'm definitely really excited to see what happens. So this is going to be really fun. And some of the essential results from the internship is the terminal operations knowledge. It is really important to know about crowd control and how to maneuver it and so forth. So I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. So I was super happy about that. And then, along with that, also learning, not only the policies and procedures, but how to handle various situations. In airport operations especially, you're going to learn that discrepancies and emergencies and safety is one of the biggest, I don't want to say neglected, but one of the biggest areas where you really have to be attentive and ready to handle any situation. And I gave you a couple examples previously of prompt actions that led to good results. I think it's very important. And I was even awarded, in terminal operations department, they wear safety vests, and I was awarded a safety pin for never not wearing my vest. The safety director noticed that I wore my vest every day, so I was awarded with the safety pin. So, little details like that, right? Safety, number one priority. There's no way that it isn't. It's so important, and safety first all the time. You can always be efficient, effective, and optimize what you're doing, but you have to start by being safe and doing that, especially in the airport operations landscape. So that was definitely, all the knowledge that I learned is so essential in my opinion. And then also the customer service experience. This was really cool. I've, over time, I've had some customer experience through a wide variety of different fields, but really getting in the airport environment was really cool. And this is going to be helpful no matter what in my career, whether I'm talking to customers or talking to fellow colleagues, whatever it takes to, learn about how to communicate effectively, diligently, effectively, I think is really going to help. So that customer service definitely is a big aspect of the internship. And I also got to shadow other departments at CLT, which I was so glad to do. So obviously during my time at TUL, I was able to check out all the different departments. Here at CLT, I was able to spend at least a day with several different ones, such as the airside operations department, gate management, planning and development, airline affairs, and quite a wide variety of opportunities. So it was really cool to see how Charlotte does it compared to a small hub airport. And safe to say there are some major differences, and it was very eye-opening. It will be really helpful for my career, and also those connections that I made as well. There were so many people, and definitely shout out to several people. Trent is a really good, he has an Instagram airside ops, so he's really cool. He's in their planning and development department, so huge shout out to him. And you all know Gemini did 13 very well, CLT Aviation 13. He also works gate management at CLT, so I was very fortunate to spend a day with him as well. So really eye-opening opportunities, and this is a small world, so it is really cool to know multiple people at these airports. And then also good shout out to my good friend Dylan Capel as well. He's now working at CLT too. So just really cool to see all of what's going on, and it's just absolute blast. So shout out to all those folks and what they do. So really great time, and so great to have all these essential results be so prominent, and overall just an absolute blast to say the least. So here's a variety of pictures from this summer. I got to spend some time at the Overlook. You can see that American 333 blasting off. That's really cool. And you can see that picture there in the bottom left. And, it's just so cool to see all the operation. And then I did have my group of fellow interns as well. We did a tour once a week, and it was really awesome to get to interact with them and learn about what they're all about. So that was super cool. Quite a wide array from planning to airside operations to even, ADA compliance. There was quite a wide variety of interns, so it was really cool to learn and bring the big picture together. Long term, I would love to work upper level management at airport or airline, whether that's airport CEO or once again any sort of upper level position at airlines. So bringing the full picture together is important, and it doesn't matter whether it's painting a column or being ADA compliant in the retail stores or airside operations, whatever the case is. Learning and functioning with the big picture is extremely important. So those align with my goals exactly, and that's exactly what I want to continue focusing on. And then you can see obviously plenty of plane spotting pictures as well. They also have plenty of cool aviation exhibits too, like the museum. So really great shot there, the US Airways 320. And safe to say there's no shortage of opportunities here at CLT. And I'll also move my webcam so you all can see the Contour and American shot right there, which was a really cool one as well. So I was super happy with that and great to get that shot. So to wrap this all up, I want to give a huge thank you to the City of Charlotte, the Charlotte Aviation Department, and also the Terminal Operations staff for giving me this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm extremely fortunate. This was a very competitive internship application. I think there were nearly 100 applicants for my position, so I feel very fortunate that I had the opportunity to learn about, once again, what the department is all about and the entire airport, and it's so exciting to think about what's coming together. And then we also had an awesome internship coordinator, Kennedy Barkley, that put together just a very enjoyable internship format with consistency, flexibility, and aviation tours. So yeah, I really hope that all of you enjoyed this. Definitely stay on the lookout for all kinds of internships. At some point I do look to make some videos because I know several of you are a few years behind me, or in high school thinking of what you want to do in aviation, and that's so cool. And I really want to provide that platform for you all to help you get to where you need to go. And it took so many connections and so much diligence and just a wide variety of efforts in many ways, whether it's actual internship applications, talking to people, referrals, all of it for me to have the opportunities I have had in 2025. So that being said, whatever I can do to help you all out, please leave your questions below, any comments that you may have. I once again really do care about all of you succeeding in the industry, and it's safe to say that it's not slowing down anytime soon. It's going to be growing. We may have some hurdles here and there, pandemic, so on and so forth, but generally speaking, the industry is going to be rising for a very long time, and I think that's really important to recognize that and continue to let's not say I had an alarm and the camera right there, so I apologize about that. With that being said, what I did want to say here is whatever I can do to help you all out, don't hesitate to reach out. I really do care about you all succeeding in this industry, and whatever I can do to give you all that platform to do that, I certainly would love to do, because I feel like it's the least I can do to help you all out to continue to thrive in what we do. And once again, it's a very exciting time here in the aviation industry. These internships weren't nearly as extensive even 5 years ago, but let's just say even 10 years ago compared to what they are today. And that group picture really tells the story there that we had, like I said, 15 interns there was across the various departments here at CLT. Really cool opportunity. And again, I'm really excited to share more with you all in the future, and definitely stay tuned for more information. There's going to be a bunch coming up regarding my career and so forth, and the next 6 months will be very pivotal in what's coming up. So again, I really appreciate all of the support from you all. Thank you all so much for following along with the journey, and I'm really excited to share what's next. And there's so much coming up, and we certainly have a bunch to talk about. But regardless of whatever happens, do know that this channel is going to be here to help all of you, to assist with any desires that you all may have. So by all means, please reach out if you have any questions, if any ways that I can help. I know I've made that very clear, but really do not hesitate to reach out. I really do want to help you all out, and it's the least I can do. And I've had quite a substantial amount of help along the way, which I'm so appreciative of, and the least I can do is hand that along and continue to help all of you out as we continue to move through the process and take it one step at a time, and of course do what we love and love what we do. So with that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust process, do what we love and love what we do. My name is CM Aviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon, as CM Aviation is signing off.